Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Star Wars The Force Awakens Finn. Much like many of the other basic figures, Finn comes included with what looks to be a knapsack of some sort, but you can combine it with other Force Awakens figures to build something. What something is, I really don't know. A nice image on the side of Finn, and then we have Kylo Ren up at the top there. Spin around the back of the package. Other figures available are Constable Zuvio and the First Order Flamethrower Trooper, or Flame Trooper. These are the components you can take and you can build yet another battle bot. I'm just calling it that. A read-up quickly says, Finn, a trained warrior desperate to escape his past, Finn is plunged into adventure as his conscience drives him down a heroic but dangerous path. To check out more from the folks over at Hasbro, you can go to www.starwars.hasbro.com, I should say. And that being said, we're going to take a break. Oh, before we do, don't want to break our tradition here, but before we take a break, I just want to comment also on the packaging here. I mentioned this actually I noticed this with other Star Wars packaging. I never mentioned it in any of the reviews that I've done. But it's interesting the way that Hasbro would have given us, if you can look at the packaging, it's 2 pieces of cardboard. As opposed to normally, the cardboard would be 1 sheet, and then you'd have the blister card bubble over top of it. Yes, very easy to steal. You could rip it open and steal it. I'm wondering why Hasbro would have gone as much the effort to give us a double-pieced cardboard card. I would think that that would be more expensive to produce. I guess unless you think, well, if somebody can go in the store and rip this open, loss prevention, Hasbro is going to be losing much more. But I don't know, it just seems like they spent a lot of money, or I can only guess they spent a lot to double flap each package when they could have easily just gone with 1. But this little side thought I thought of. I wanted to slip that in there before we took a break. Now we can take a break. Spot's going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at Finn. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Included with Finn, you get yourself a pamphlet. Let's open this up. On the one side, it shows you how to put everything together. You want to build another battle bot. This maybe would be the Sith battle bot. On the other side, it shows you the other figures. Finn comes with a backpack. Constable Zuvio comes with axes, and First Order Flame Trooper comes with some sort of shield. But when you take all 3 of them, that's essentially what it's going to look like. What that is, again, I have no idea. Put that to the side. Finn's piece, I guess, is the equivalent of some sort of tank. There's tank treads underneath. There's a peg point on the back, and there's a peg hole on the top. And then these little sections can move. They look like they are little gun turrets, so at least they look kind of cool. At least you can, imagine that that's like a little tank drone. That's kind of neat. But it's supposed to clip on Finn. And I'm just looking again at the instructions here. Not quite sure. Let's have a look at Finn here. The back, there is a section here that's, oh, I see. That's why. I was going to say, I don't know how it could peg into place, but this flips over like that. And then this pegs into Finn's back like that. And then these flip over, giving you something that looks like that. I might even have it the other way around. Let's try it the other way. Peg, peg, peg. There we go. I think that's closer to what the little pamphlet shows. Yeah, that seems more right. Again, I just don't know why Hasbro, Hasbro tries to save money by not having superposable figures, but then they'll go as far as to make these, where I think to myself, you know what, that's just as much plastic as a posable figure. Why couldn't we just get a posable figure instead? And you get this little tank thing. Let's fold this back around. Something else, too, I noticed with this figure is that there's, the tank, there's a hole in the top. If you wanted to be zany, you could take the other pieces that we've looked at And we've already built this, which again kind of just looks, it's some sort of walker, little buzzsaw thingamajigger. You could take it, and this can just, you know what, we'll flip these around. You take this, and this pegs into the top. If you wanted to have some fun and you just add stuff upon stuff upon stuff, you could get something like, looks like this. It still looks like a busy mess, but I mean, you can add extra things to it. And I guess you could even take the buzzsaw, add that to the top. So I mean, you could mix and match. You have a little gun turret, a little buzzsaw turret. I don't know. You see what I'm saying. It's extra stuff. I just don't get it. We'll put those to the side. 3 minutes in, let's finally have a look at Finn. He looks pretty much like his 6-inch figure counterpart. He's got a soft, rubbery goods jacket. Figure looks very nice indeed. He comes with a blaster he can take and put into either of his hand. This blaster also carried over. This must be a blaster he uses in the movie, because it's also both in the 6-inch black series as well as the basic series that we're looking at now. I mentioned in the 6-inch version of Finn that he came across like a little stumpy. He seemed a little short on the height. Let's put him next to Luke Skywalker. I guess more that I see it, he's not overly short. What could be the conflict is that his shirt hangs over his waist, so it does give him the look that he is stumpier in the leg. But he is pretty much the same height as Luke Skywalker. His face is good. No complaints at all with the paint. There's his face right there. Very stern look on Finn. Carries over the same red on the shoulder, the same red and silver on his jacket as the larger figure as well. The downside to this figure, though, again, just no posability. You can't do much with him. In fact, for posability on Finn, his head rotates all the way around. Arms rotate all the way around. And then he's got a pose in the legs. The legs can move forward and back. I just dropped his blaster. But that's pretty much all he does. He has peg holes, though Hasbro never gave us a display stand. Not devastated by we don't get a display stand. I'm a little more devastated, to be honest, that we don't get more posable figures. 3 3/4 inch maybe is not everybody's cup of tea. That I find more and more toy companies are scaling down, not so much the size, but they're scaling down what's on the smaller scale figures, giving us a lot less posability, and they seem to be focusing efforts more on the bigger figures or the collector's figures that I really would like to just say, well, can't you give us both? You know, I love small 3 3/4 inch figures. It still is something that I collected ever since I was a little kid. I love superposable figures like bending the elbow, the knees. I don't know why we couldn't have gotten that. Instead, Hasbro kind of just scales back what we get on these figures, and seem to put more of their efforts into a Black Series figure than anything else. I kind of wish, you know, give us the best of both worlds, and maybe skimp and give us less of these. These kids are never going to, years to come, a kid may pick this up and say, oh, that's Finn. A kid may pick this up and have no idea what this line came from or what this toy came from. My thought is, scale back on that and give us instead a more posable figure. But that's just me. Today's Toy Spot, we were continuing our looks at the Star Wars Force Awakens figures. We're looking today at Finn. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots in your way. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.